Chris, thank you so much for joining us. Now, yesterday we watched the Patriots unable to hold a 21-point lead to the Bills. I feel like you have a saying, a catchphrase about the Bills. How does that go again?
Well, they did it, and they've done it all year, really, even though it was invented for the Jim Kelly Bills, of course, Ben. And by the way, you look really good in a jacket. I don't think I've ever seen that. Well, it's no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I would like to say that came from the Frank Reich 35-3 down in the third quarter playoffs against the Houston Oilers. I'm going to go with that story. I think I probably used it once or twice before back then, but it certainly applied to that game, and that's what they did, taking their side of yesterday's game. But they've done that all year. They're like way over plus 100 points in the second half and minus in the first. So who knew that 30 years later it would still hold?
No one does circle those wagons like the Buffalo Bills. What do you make of the Patriots side of it, though? Where do you see the Patriots standing after a loss like that? They fell to 11-3. What's the state of the Patriots right now, you think?
You know, it's funny. I read some of the website knowing we would be doing this morning, and it's 1 a.m, and I got to go to bed and whatever. But, the sky, first of all, the sky didn't fall. If somebody, I don't need to tell you this, but sometimes the fans need to hear it. If you were to say on Labor Day, you're going to be 11-3, maybe with a shot, well, certainly with a shot to win the division, probably should still, and with a shot at number 1 or even number 2 seed, would you take it? Duh. 8 wins in 2 years before this. So let's calm down a little bit. Oh my God. If you look around the league, and I'm not saying necessarily the teams that are records like the Patriots have fallen to this, I'd have to look it up. But there were a lot, as I see all the games, a lot of, if not 21, a lot of team up by 17 and lost this year. A lot of them. I may be statistically wrong, Ben, but it seemed more than usual. And I'm even going back to games between two have-nots. So, look, it's the best team the Patriots have played. If you look at the record, and I don't want to point, well, they beat teams. Who cares? They won the games. They took that Buffalo win and they put it in their pocket, and they didn't lose till yesterday. So, my thought on the Patriots would be 21-0 was, whoa, not even they expected a lead like that. And they're playing the best quarterback in football with a team with pedigree who weren't going to flinch. Now, that being said, when the Bills scored, Ben, to make it 21-7 with minute 20 to go in the half, maybe less, I don't know, and the Patriots drove down with a field goal, I went, wow. That's maturity. Knowing the Bills are getting the ball in the second half, I went, wow, they just kind of put this not away, but back to 17, not 14. So I have that in my pocket as a real plus for New England. Now, their linebackers couldn't cover the tight ends, but that's the Bills' best receivers. You could analyze the game left and right. You don't need me for that. You were there. I'm watching all the games. So they're 11-3. They're still scratching the surface. Drake May is really good. The rookie running back is really good, powerful, and fast. We could go on. And there's so many pluses that a loss to the Buffalo Bills where, I looked at and I'm going on here, but I looked at the schedule just 20 minutes ago. I hadn't looked at it in like 5 weeks. And as it turns out, again, not to poo-poo it, and then I'll answer shorter moving on. Who did they beat? Buffalo with a really good record. And Tampa. Well, they're now 7-7. There's nobody else that has a winning record. So what I'm saying is the Patriots put this loss in their pocket, and I said this on primetime, you can see it. They're young players. Stephon Diggs knows. The Spillanes know. Although with the Raiders, they haven't been in a lot of these. This is the playoffs, huh? So that's the speed and the fury and the level of competition we're going to play. Okay. Now we really know. Coach has told us Now we really know. Is that a fair statement? I think they put this in their pocket and go, that's an unbelievably better than we wanted learning experience moving forward. I do.
That's a great answer, Chris. All right, I want to go around the league really quick with you. Ask you about two big stories around the league. First of all, I know you're very close with Andy Reid and the Chiefs. What do you make of what's happened to that team this year? And then obviously Mahomes tearing his ACL yesterday. What do you make of the Chiefs right now?
Well, in retrospect now, I'm pretty close with them, and I watch them pretty carefully. They're tired. Ben, they're tired. The only comparison I could make, I've done this starting a month ago, when we didn't know they'd be healthy, are the two Patriots. Patriots run 1 and Patriots run 2, where any team over a 7, which is now 8 for the Chiefs, year span, played this many games. They've played the most. Now, I understand when they got to their first championship game, the game Brady won in Kansas City in 18 with the overtime that helped change the rule. There were 16 games and there's 17 now, so that would be one of them. But the Chiefs will have played 154 games in 8 years. The Patriots proved that you can stay up there and win Super Bowls sustaining 7 or 8 years. Not a lot of the players are there from the 18 and 19 Super Bowl champion Chiefs, Tyreek being the headline. They're the same. But listen, the coaches, the players, they're exhausted. They won't admit it. I've told them that quietly, and they're not going to admit it. They drop the ball. They're tired. But one thing, even those Patriots of the last decade, the second round, they never had Brazil. They never had the Chiefs played on every day of the week except Tuesday last year. The Chiefs play what on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black Friday. You get the point. It's a lot. Now, Mahomes will recover. I mean, I don't know in time for September. We don't know. That's dumb. Their dynasty isn't over. It's on a pause. And in retrospect, not to make excuses, maybe not making it at all, and an exhale on January 5th or whatever the day is what they need the most. Everything looked difficult almost all year, Ben. So I think we should applaud them staying up there for 7 years, like we applaud the Patriots both times, rather than go, what's wrong with them? Mahomes and Reid mean the dynasty's on pause, not done.
I love that line. I think it's a great line, Chris. It's not done. I mean, as long as they have Mahomes, the Chiefs aren't going anywhere. But, yeah, it is probably on pause for a little bit. I got to ask you also, Phillip Rivers yesterday coming to play for the Colts. How awesome was that? How much did you love seeing Phillip Rivers getting back in the huddle?
Story of the year, Ben. Really, one of them. Because Phillip Rivers will be a Hall of Famer. I don't know that he would have got elected this year, but he will be 63,000 yards, et cetera. And as someone that was close with those San Diego Chargers, if you didn't like Phillip Rivers playing football, there was something wrong with you. Now, 4.5 years later, he did okay. It was okay. See him smile in postgame go, I told my wife, I can't wait to get back out there and get hit hard. And she said, just quoting Phil, there's something wrong with you, or that's not right. And listen, here's what the Colts were banking on. If you really do the math, the Chargers beating Eagles and then Chiefs was not what the Colts needed, if you're just looking at it from them. They're hoping Phillip could go 2-2, maybe not win at Seattle, which he almost did, maybe not win at Houston. Now home to, oh my God, we stepped into it this Monday night. They're the next Monday night game next week against the 49ers. Like, that'll be double the viewership, right? And they play Jacksonville at home. So what can we compare what he's doing it to? Nothing. The only thing I thought, Ben, because San Diego radio called me immediately, I said I could do it right now or else. And we did it. Imagine Brett Favre was 40 and he played his last year, and then a very close friend who's a coach called him at 44 and said, Brett, are you in shape? Yeah, I keep myself in shape, blah, blah. Would you come back? Call me in 24 hours? He might have done. Nobody else would do this in their right mind. And if you can't celebrate, hey, they almost won. I mean, it's a 50-something yard field goal that beat them. So it was great. Philip, listen, one memory Patriots fans will have in the almost undefeated year, the championship game was San Diego in 07 at Foxborough. He played on one leg, if you remember. One leg. And they acquitted themselves pretty well, San Diego, given he was on one leg. I don't think Tomlinson played. So that's a memory that you should have, is what a tough hombre he was and he still is. Don't you root for him? You have to root for him, right, Ben?
How can you not? Old man Rivers. Chris, I could talk NFL all day with you, but we got to wrap it up here with 3 quick questions. These are quick hitters now, all right? Number one, you were famous for giving nicknames to players over the years. What was your favorite nickname that you gave to a Patriots player?
Well, Curtis, my favorite, Martin, was a pretty good player. Obviously Hall of Famer and a pretty good nickname. Ben Winter Coates kind of fit the region, right? And I, you know what? As you keep going on, I know there's like 3, 4, 5. I mean, what about these Patriots now? We have fun with Shake Your Booty. You know, I don't quote Casey and the Sunshine Band very often. I'd rather quote the Doors. And Stefan, how you digs me now. But to answer your question, my favorite, Martin.
That's great. That one brings me back, Chris. You are a known Hartford Whalers devotee. What's the best piece of Whalers memorabilia that you own?
Well, 28 years since they played here. You know, Ben, they still are like in the middle of merchandise sold for NHL teams, and they haven't been here for over a quarter of a century because the colors are the best. Vancouver copied them. I have a hat bought at the gift shop the last month they were in existence. Rather than bumper stickers, I have a few hats in the back of my car sticking out because bumper stickers on for life change. I still have a Whaler hat that, of course, has been sun-baked, etc. But, and it's not in my pocket now. The key, I have our key, my home key, my office, 3 keys. It's still a Whaler keychain from spring of '97. You know, it was fun. It's a long story, but don't those jerseys look good? And the logo is still as good as it gets, you admit.
Pucky the Whale, nothing better. All right, Chris, really quick, put on your Swami hat. Who do you see playing in Super Bowl 60 this year?
Well, you know, different year. It's almost like the defenses. If you don't have a really good defense, you're not going to do it. So rather than go on and on, I'm going to go with Buffalo and Seattle.
Okay.
Now, Buffalo does not have a great defense. New England's maybe a little better, although after yesterday we don't know, but they're young. So this is the year when, other than Matthew Stafford and, 40-plus Aaron Rodgers and Lamar Jackson will be anyway. Oh, none of the quarterbacks. Drake, who's been great, Bo Nix, Darnold, none really have, Jordan Love, not yet. None of them have pelts like Josh Allen. My prediction in May, pardon my take, actually, I said it, in May. They could give me an outrageous thought on the season. I said, it's May. What do you want from me? I said, Buffalo won't play Kansas City in the playoffs. They go, what do you mean by that? I said, I don't know. So I'm going to stick with the Bills because on a one game they can beat anybody. I don't know if their defense is sustainable for 4. And Seattle, watch them play defense Thursday night against the Rams. The Rams are the best team, but I'm going to go with the Seahawks. So there you go. How about you?
I love it. Well, I'm thinking right now Broncos and Rams, but Bills and Seahawks would be great. Maybe Marshawn Lynch could do the coin toss for that kind of matchup.
Well, and if the Bills do get in, hey, look, the Patriots could get in. I'm not ruling them out because they lost. You split. But it would be Buffalo playing in San Francisco. That's close, isn't it? My pick every year.
There you go. Yeah, maybe you could do the coin toss if that's the case. I think that would be appropriate.
I'd probably flip it sideways. One note on the Patriots. Do you know that they had the last bye in 2001? Last one. Now, they lost yesterday off the bye, but that late bye is really going to help them. It's just they had the last bye in 01, and they were the second seed, weren't they? So I'm just saying, if you're a Patriot fan, if that's the way it's lining up, to quote Yogi, it could be deja vu all over again. Therefore, think about it. One other note, please. I know you're trying to wrap. Brown University is my alma mater. Please, everybody, think about those families irrevocably harmed is not the right word. Just saddened and downtrodden for a long time. It's right down the road, and the Patriots, as usual, did a great thing putting it up on the board. So it's a holiday. Can we just be nice to one another? I thought I would make sure I'd say that.
No question. Absolutely, Chris. All right, Chris Berman, thank you so much for your time.